I used to do too much, at the same time, not enough. I used to hide my cards until he called my bluff. Forced to play the hand that I was dealt. Lucky for me, the dealer gave me help. I used to be a liar and a deceiver. I used to be both, but now I'm a believer. Cast the shackles and break the chains of death. Now I feel the love in every breath. Now that I've accepted Jesus Christ as Lord, I must carry the cross of righteousness unto the golden shores. And eternity is reality, pearly gates in front of me, until tomorrow is no more. Until tomorrow is no more. I used to be influenced so easily. No will of my own, no identity. I was gave the key and unlocked every door. And every mistake just added to my lore. I used to surround myself with gypsies and pirates. I used to be both, but don't do like I did. It took so long for me to realize what I was searching for all my life. Now that I've accepted Jesus Christ as Lord, I must carry the cross of righteousness unto the golden shores. And eternity is reality, pearly gates in front of me, until tomorrow is no more. Until tomorrow is no more.
Hello there, Yawsome.
Hello.
It looks like you have the beach there behind you.
I'm on vacation.
It looks like you happen to live in Florida. Is that accurate?
Oh, maybe. It could be. DeSantis! I mean, maybe.
Speaking of DeSantis and the devil shall appear, Dustin, how are you, sir?
Whoa, was that necessary?
It
I'm
wasn't
not the devil.
directed towards Dustin. It was directed towards that very demonic, glaring photo that you have pointed at me in such a scary, intimidating way.
Well, it's just a photo. I don't expect bullets to come out of the eyes yet.
That's not the point, Dustin. It violated my safe space.
Violated
I
your
just don't feel
safe space.
emotionally stable. Ah! Isn't that how the liberals do it?
I came in like a wrecking ball.
I feel like the standard is I'm supposed to cry now publicly. Is that it?
I mean, if tears came out of the little eyes in that Confederate soldier, I wouldn't complain a little bit at all.
Oh my Lanta, I cannot believe you had that.
My Lanta's right.
So Yawsome here is going to be starting her own YouTube channel, and I'm going to be helping her get it off the ground, helping her make intro videos and thumbnails and scheduling it. And I'm excited to see what she's going to do with it.
Yawsome's going to pray about it.
You're going to pray about it.
Well,
we could work something out, and I could let you start off the way I'm letting others, and you can do something on the channel and also stream it to your channel while it's building up.
I'll pray about that.
But you have to use that exact background, and you have to interview people.
That's actually the intro to my master bathroom.
Well, it's wonderful, and
I like to feel like I'm on vacation all the time.
You look like you're going to be interviewing people. Do you have any idea what you're going to interview people
about? I
kind
of feel like I'm going to be having to be on the defensive today, so I figured I might as well be prepared for it. So I've got on my full suit of armor here.
Wait a minute. You are a guest on my show.
You keep telling me that, but then you hit my triggers.
Well, you know what? If anyone on the show has been triggered, it is Dustin. Dustin is a hair trigger.
I don't have a trigger. I have a short fuse. I don't go boom. I don't go pop. I go boom. Okay, there's a difference.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it can also be an organized boom, kind of like how I can't say they took down the towers, but you know, in a similar fashion, just an organized explosion to take something down. Hey, what's up, Christian Lynch? You're welcome to come join us, brother. I'm looking forward to our interview with you Monday.
Dustin, I have to tell you that I think you handled yesterday very graceful. I don't know if I would have been able to maintain such a well-kept composure with so many shots being fired in your direction. So.
You know what, Dustin? I have to comment on that too. So I'm glad Yawsome brought it up. That was very dignified of you, and I was just proud of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Rex didn't do anything, and I'll listen to Rex. Dude, he has some interesting points. I wasn't trying to come off as combative towards him. Now, when it comes to how I feel about other people, I mean, he kind of crossed his own boundary line there when he's putting words in my mouth, right? I mean, I could have pointed that out. I wanted to point that out a couple times, but I didn't want to be combative. You know how he goes off about never put words in my mouth. What are you doing, buddy? I have to say this instead of that for yours and their comfort. Can you explain that to me? I don't know. I didn't want to come off as combative, and I understand his objection too.
No, but that was beautifully said too, and it just shows a sense of humbleness in you that I hadn't seen before. So it was really a pleasant witness.
I have many crooks and crannies, and in some of them you might find a flake or two of gold.
I can resemble that. So.
You guys are actually very similar. You're extremely likable, but you're extremely blunt and sharp pointed to the edge to where it's piercing in an unpleasant way sometimes.
I kind of see your father in me sometimes in that way.
Well, without context, that's weird. So my father is her uncle.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I'm up on how the family tree thing works. I haven't found any
I
circles
know,
yet,
because
so
Dustin was in my
that's when
DMs trying to make his way into your DMs. So I gave
that
him your
was
phone
that
number.
is not. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Pump your hate brakes there. What?
Did you just advise me on a Christian channel to take hate breaks? That
I
seems
said
so
pump the hate brakes.
counterproductive. Pump the hate
I
breaks.
said pump your hate brakes, buddy. Take it
All right.
easy there.
What am I gonna... Okay, here, I have one for you, Dustin.
I have flaws. What are they? Oh, I don't know. I sing in the shower. Sometimes I spend too much time volunteering. Occasionally I'll hit somebody with my car. So sue me.
So soon.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Every single one of those points actually applies to me.
I know.
I have hit people with my car. That's actually, it's ironic that you point that out.
Yeah. Well, that is ironic, but I wish I hadn't have known that. Do other people
Bro,
know
like,
about it,
I'm
or are
serious.
you confessing to a felony on this channel? Because I don't know why people.
Well,
feel
nobody
like they can do
died,
that
if
on
that's
my
what you're
channel,
asking.
But they do. They just come on here and admit to
Technically-
murder and stuff.
Well, I didn't murder anybody, okay?
Well,
like,
thank
that's
God
not
you
what
cleared
happened. And
that
I
up
think
for the FBI.
they're not going to come after me anyway. I sleep in my car. No.
Good luck
Actually,
finding
what
him.
happened was, yeah, that's the point. No,
Cuz, can he borrow
well,
your
except for
driveway
I'm on
for a
my
while
phone.
while he hides out?
Why are you doing this? You sidecar instigator.
Why
I'm
are you
going to come
always
right over the
accusing me
top
of
and
sidecard instigating, Dustin?
Where
I'm
is that?
helping.
because the nail that sticks out gets hammered, mother trucker.
Look, Yasum has her own show coming up. She's very
I'm gonna
successful.
That was a good pivot.
She's an environmental scientist. And her daughters are so beautiful. They're like mouthy,
Hey, can you get
so
that
you may
right,
have
though?
to fist fight them.
Can we just clarify
Do
an
I-
environmental scientist that keeps God in the science?
Your show's gonna keep God in the
that-
science?
No, I'm saying I do. Like, yeah. But I just want to clarify that because you say scientists, there's a whole committee out there with their Big Bang theories and stuff. I keep God in the science.
Okay, so that's a great point. Can you clarify exactly what that means to you?
That means
What do
I
you
don't
mean when you
believe in
say
this
I
propaganda.
keep God in the science?
I don't believe in their propaganda's push to dismiss God as the creator of the earth, to dismiss him as the creator of humankind and make it up like we developed from multi different creatures. I mean, I think it's hysterical that people fell for that and believe it. And I definitely don't believe in the Big Bang. Yeah, evolution's a joke. I mean, if you keep God in it, it explains itself so much easier. And the scientists actually spend triple the amount of time trying to convince you and explain away God than it would take for me to explain it to you with God.
Are you a young Earth creationist?
Can I point out that tirade started at 13 minutes exactly on the dot?
I don't believe in superstition, so I don't think it's a bad luck thing.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Dude, 13 has biblical reference, okay? Go ahead and sue me. I just thought it was interesting and I should point it out.
Well, let me know the reference, please, because I'm missing something.
No, well, there was 13 tribes. There was 13 apostles.
There was
Okay.
12 tribes and 12 apostles, but I see what you're saying.
Right. Depending on what version of the Torah you listen to, right?
No.
Isn't there a huge controversy over that?
No. Okay, so what you might be referring to is with the tribe of Joseph. The tribe of Joseph was divided into two tribes by his children, Ephraim and Manasseh. But you can also include both of them just into the tribe of Joseph. And later on in the New Testament, The tribe of Joseph is referred to as just the tribe of Ephraim, but it includes Manasseh in it as a united tribe. But for a period of time, yes, you're correct. One of the 12 tribes was divided into two, the tribe of Joseph into Ephraim and Manasseh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take the technicality.
Okay.
It's not even really a technicality. It just needed further explaining.
Copy that. It just, yeah, it.
It what?
Oh, so okay. Look, there's an argument to be made that God works in synchronicity, right? Like, have you ever looked at
Commonalities.
some of the? Well, no, because well, think about it like this.
Well, do
If you
me a
look at the
favor.
relationship,
Direct these questions towards Yasum, because I'm trying to get her more comfortable answering and responding in this type of format.
okay, so God has an interesting way of talking to man. For example, if you look at the similarities and the dissimilarities between how Abraham Lincoln and J.F. Kennedy were killed, there's just too many coincidences, there's too many similarities, and there's too many, like, it's that's just too much. Like, you can't even calculate the odds of all those two between the distance and time. I mean, how do you explain that other than God?
I think that when you take God out of the equation, many things become a lot harder to explain. That's why I can't accept that or embrace that mentality pushed by the scientific community. I mean, you complicated it, you've confused people, you've had to do trillion times more work to disprove something. If you have to go to those extremes to dismiss it, why not accept it as fact? Because for everything else, even for, okay, the scientific information for the jab, they accepted more willingly. And there is none. There was none at that time. You had no data to run off of, but they accept that more willingly than they will something that they've used generations and decades to disprove. And to me, that's asinine. It's completely absurd. It's the definition of insanity to do something over and over again and expect different results. You keep getting the same results. What would it be?
It's
Are you a
interesting you
young
bring that
Earth?
up, because
I would love to ask
it's
if you don't
interesting.
mind, Dustin. And
Go
then
ahead.
you can make your point. Are you a young Earth creationist, Tabitha?
I don't know what you mean by that.
So young Earth creationist means you believe that the world is, like, say, under 15,000 years old.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
All the aging that they use as their proof can be dismissed by the Great Flood. Because if you look at the scientific information for corrosion sped up by those kind of atmospheric conditions, then it explains it all by itself.
All right.
Europa
aggressive.
Europa has a ethane atmosphere, or what was it? Was not an ethane. It was can't remember now. I'm conflicting between my previous point and this point, but either way, the evolutionist props up Darwin like he's some kind of idol of evolution, but the idea that he actually robbed from the Greeks. It's not an
Yes.
original thought in his head. Yeah, like, I mean, and that goes very well with your other point, where if you repeat the same mistakes over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. This was all disproven way back then.
Absolutely agreed.
So if you believe the Earth is under 15,000 years old, which, by the way, I also agree with. I'm also a young Earth creationist. Precisely how old, best guess, would you say you contend that the world is?
Okay, look, Proverbs. Well, hold on a second here. Just hold on a second. Look, we have a huge issue here, Proverbs. Okay, because when you look at the world and you look at time, our concept of time only runs from the point it was initiated. It can only tell you how long it's been since, right? Like if you look at dendrology, when you cut the tree, the rings can only tell you how long it's been since it cracked out of that seed, right?
And even that can be altered
So,
by conditions.
but the thing is that those conditions are universal worldwide, and they're recorded in all the different rings.
I agree with
That's
that.
why
Go ahead.
that's why dendrology is a science, right? Because it's
Yes.
repeatable and it's demonstratable all over the world.
Yes. Agreed.
So when you take this into an account with a world that's 10,000 years old, we have clocks that supposedly run past that date, such as the uranium decay to lead. It's a controversy, but there's other clocks out there, right? Say the volcanic activity on some of the moons around Titan, or I think it's methane or ethane atmosphere on another moon that if it's millions of years old, it shouldn't be there. So we have a bunch of conflicting clocks. So when you say age of the Earth, right, does that mean the universe existed and then the Earth was brought into it? Could being created in our own image allow for a difference in the time by some measure? And I'm not saying that we're talking about billions of years, right? Because there is some time before the earth is made where he has conversed with angels. So there's some leeway there.
Hello, Isaiah. How can we help you today?
Hello, Isaiah.
Hello.
How's it going?
Are you there?
We are, yeah. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear y'all.
Excellent. What do you got going on today?
Oh, nothing. Just making myself known into the streaming world here.
All right.
No,
How'd you hear
no.
about us?
Why is Christian here?
Hey.
Christian Pike is a welcome brethren of ours.
Yeah, but I have a feeling I know why he's here.
I bet you don't.
Why do you think
Okay,
he's
I
here?
hope I'm wrong.
What is the
Because
feeling,
I
Justin?
just made a concession. Because I just made a concession, and he's here to beat me over the head with it.
Hold on, make it again.
Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
No.
Proverbs and Christian, Mike, you guys would know me on Facebook as David Pfluger. You're on my friends list.
I don't know you.
Yeah, I saw you on there. Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Have we corresponded in messages before?
Probably.
So how do you know about the channel? Have you seen it through YouTube or Facebook?
Through Kent and
Maybe I
Father
invited
Charles.
Oh, okay. So you're a Kent Hovind supporter.
Yeah, and I watched last night's stream.
Oh boy, I'm sorry.
Hey, I left my comment for Mark on there.
I'll have to go through and probably approve that. It sounds like it might have been an aggressive one.
No, it's not aggressive.
Oh, okay.
A few nights ago, I was on Chuck's channel, and Mark came in there and everything, and I asked him if he, how he was doing with all the Ken Hovind stuff and everything else, because he was talking about how he was rehabilitating himself from all of his problems, and I asked him about his outside anger. And he goes, I'm letting it all go, blah, 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 blah. And then when I seen that stream this morning from last night and everything, I'm like, what the heck? This is like totally and entirely counterproductive of what you were telling me the other night.
Yeah, talking about what Kent was gonna do.
Anything about Kent. He was telling me the other night that he was letting it all go.
Who told you that, Mark or Chuck?
Mark did on Father Chuck's. Let's see,
you.
I got it up in the bedroom because I was finishing watching it. I caught the last hour or so of it.
I am so glad he's exposed as a liar, man. I am so glad that is more widely known. Thank you, buddy.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't care if he's a liar or not. Okay? Be a man, stand up to what you say. You know, if he was talking about he's going through the veterans program and everything and working a pretty hardcore self-help program. Okay? Work it. Going online and just arguing and everything about same old stuff, that's not working a program. I mean, Christian, I know your name.
Wait, what was that? I'm sorry.
I said I know your name. I see you on Facebook when you post.
Yes, I chose a very particular alias to go under, which was Christian Pike.
Right.
It was easy to remember.
Well, on my Facebook page, I'm just David Pfluger, my real name.
Yeah, I saw you on there. I'm not sure if I ever made that connection with you on here or not until you just said it just now, but I've definitely seen you on there.
And ProverbsGuy, I don't know your name.
That's Horatio.
I was named after an apostle and a disciple.
No. Your real name.
No, I know. My real name. I was named after an apostle, and I was named after a disciple of John. My name is Stephen Andrew.
Oh, okay. And mine's David Michael, so I'm a king and an angel.
A king and an angel. There you go. Yeah. And we have a priest.
And I was risen from the dead.
Company. You look what, y'all?
Hey, Chuck.
I was risen from the dead.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, that's true. Tabitha was risen from the dead.
Special
happened to Dustin.
But anyways,
I feel like I was risen from the dead too, as well. Go ahead.
As I was saying,
I too was risen from the dead.
ProverbsGuy, or
yes.
Stephen, on Chuck's video a couple nights ago, is the American family in sincere decline. About 3 hours into it is when me and Mark started talking that night. So, I mean, you can hear it for yourself. And then you can see the comment on last night's video of yours.
I try not to go watch any of their responses or any of their negative content because it really has no authority over my life.
Well, actually, that night, he wasn't being negative. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even talked to him. I don't like the man.
I can't stand him.
I have a lot of love for him, actually, because we were at Dinosaur Adventureland roughly around the same time.
You douchebag.
I'm telling you, I do love Mark.
Not you, Christian. I'm sorry, I forgot I had my mic on.
Dustin, listen, I'm here to help.
Why do you do this to me, Christian?
Steve?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
When you and him first posted the wiretap on Facebook, I'm the one that told Kent about it.
Okay.
So, and then when you made amends with Kent, I was watching. I probably even commented. So I've been following you since then.
Well, thank you. It's something that I've had to deal with repeatedly through my time on YouTube, the making mens and having to publicly correct material I manufactured to be used against Kent that I'm constantly having to explain now. And people ask me, they're like, why do you stick up for Kent the way you do? Why do you have him on so much? it could hurt you. And I'm like, because I purposefully hurt him before, and I'm going to continue to work to undo that damage I did.
Well, and that's part of making amends.
Mm-hmm.
And if Mark can't make amends, then, I mean, he's on the opposite end of the country. What harm can Kent do to him?
Nothing, right?
Leave it alone. You got a cross for an avatar. Spread the gospel.
Yeah, well, I mean, even that, I would almost rather him not spread the gospel because he believes in that predestination heresy. No offense, Christian.
It's pretty offensive when you say it like that.
I know. I know, but he believes in the really perverted
No, he
version.
didn't mean
Like
anything.
God just wakes up and wants people to go to hell for some reason. That version.
Yeah,
and he's also a preterist, like a full preterist. So
Well,
I don't want Mark out there preaching.
Well, here's the thing.
That sounds dirty.
Here's the thing, okay? 13, 14 years ago when I got saved, I knew nothing about creation. Okay? Nothing at all. I mean, I went into so many rabbit holes looking for anything that I could fit into the Bible. Okay? I mean, from day, age, gap, ancient aliens, everything. And then about 6, 7 years ago, I found Ken Hovind, and boom, everything fit into place. So I won't give up on somebody that does believe in God, because sooner or later he will get to the truth.
Oh, I agree. And I haven't given up on him. I know he's a brother in Christ. I knew him very intimately. Like, we lived together on the property for 4 months. You get to know someone pretty well when you wake up and go to sleep like with these same people and eat with them and work with them and sweat and bleed, and you get close. And I know Mark has a good heart, and I know Mark is a good
Why
man.
are you such a linchpin? Why? You son of a
Because
biscuit. You gotta exclude some people.
I hate some of the stuff Mark is doing, but I did it too, Dustin. So I can't hate Mark because I'd have to hate me. I was just as guilty.
I'm not
And I
asking
know
you to
God can
hate the
redeem him
man.
too.
I don't hate the man. I hate being lied to. I absolutely cannot stand that. That is why I have such a beef with the dude.
Yeah, but the thing is, none of us are perfect.
Well, no, but the thing is that I'm not holding a grudge. I'm asking him to do the right thing, right? I mean, I would let it go if he would just admit the kid was never missing and that he lied.
But
you would never hear another word out of me.
He's not going to do it on your time. He's going to do it on his time.
Well, then I'm not going to let up until his time comes.
Arguing about it ain't going to bring it.
Yasum, let's
but he did actually.
Guys,
but he did actually admit to it, though.
I understand that. Okay.
That's progress, no matter how you look at it. That's progress.
What were you saying, Steve?
Just that I don't think people want to relive an episode from yesterday like for very long. So
you
there's
can
other
go
topics.
back and rewind the episode and watch the whole thing again.
Yeah, it got aggressive, and it was 2.5 hours long or something like that. So there's plenty to listen to and digest. I just emotionally, I really don't want to dwell on the Kent stuff today. I would love a break before the retaliation videos drop tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear that.
They are coming.
Well,
the hate videos for me and Kent will be coming tomorrow.
Well, go ahead and look at my comment on that video. Go ahead and look at my comment. I wasn't harsh, but I was direct.
I'm going to start taking clips. Bro, I'm going to start taking clips of their response videos, and I'm going to send them to you so you can make shorts.
I have no doubt there's some hate mail from me for the episode before last.
for which point are you addressing? Would you?
Oh, I mean the one where the guy last night was quoting me, and I wasn't allowed to address it, but he was literally quoting the things I had said, not y'all.
Who said that? Was it Lupin? Because
I wasn't at that point.
Dustin had issues with Lupin that evening also.
It was the guy that talked for like the whole 45 minutes that I was on, and I jumped off, and he kept cutting everybody off, and he's like, my father beat me. Was that God's will? That guy.
Oh, he was only on for like 10, 15 minutes. That was
I
great.
knew I got off. I said 45. Yeah, I missed it. It just felt that long with him, and I got off, yeah.
Oh, you don't like Grayson?
I didn't like the way that he was attacking me, and I wasn't allowed to address it. I was told to be quiet. He wasn't addressing me, but he was quoting me from the previous episode. I'm the one. I can't stand the trans propagandist push that we're supposed to respect them and identify them as they want to be identified because I'm openly admitting that God's wrong. I'm the one that said that. But I was told to be quiet because he was talking to Dustin, but he was addressing Dustin over my comment. Dustin didn't say that.
No,
on that episode.
Next
Yawsome, that was Yawsome. Well, hold on. I actually owe Yawsome an apology too. No,
okay,
I
also,
actually
something to keep in mind, Dustin. You're trying to respond to each and every one of us, but all of us would like to respond to each other also. So just try to keep that in the back of your mind. But go ahead and respond to Yawsome now.
No, well, no, actually, I owe her an apology. I don't owe her a response. I owe her an apology.
I think Chuck fell asleep.
He did.
What? I'm not paying attention to that. No, he's not. He's writing something. Yawsome,
Pastor,
look.
are you writing?
Maybe he's praying. I hope he didn't pass out.
I'm gonna call him real quick, guys. I'm gonna put myself on mute, and you guys just continue the conversation with Yawsome.
Well, I pretty much said what I needed to say. I mean, if anybody were to look at my channel and everything, I don't have any content of my own. But
if you wouldn't mind real quick, though, I'd love to hear what Dustin would finish what he was going to say real quick. I'm curious where that was going. If you don't mind, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead, Justin.
Look, if I remember correctly, you're referring to the moments right before you cut off. In all honesty, that wasn't Grayson's fault. That was my fault. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually was the one that stopped you from talking. I was the one that told you that Grayson was here to treat me like a punching bag. That was really more my fault than it was his.
Okay, I'll accept that. But also Steven had told me, or Steve rather had told me that he was talking to you too, and I'm listening to him, and I listened for another 5-10 minutes. And I'm hearing the words that he's throwing at you, and I'm like, wait, this is the stuff I said. If you want to be mad at the right person, address the right person. You're literally throwing my words at Dustin, though, and that's what kind of upset me. And then you guys telling me he wasn't talking to me. I'm like, those are my words. That's what I said. I can stand up. I'm a big girl,
I'm sorry.
That
episode was a train wreck.
I actually do know that, Yawsome. I do. I know he was misquoting me. I wasn't trying to be combative. Yawsome, look, there was so many mistakes that he made in his tirade, but I was trying to bury the hatchet. I was trying to come to a middle ground because I actually like Grayson. I like Grayson a lot. Right? And I want to see him progress in whatever fashion that means to him, but also maybe put a little bit of my I don't know what you want to call it. If there's some of my words of wisdom that shine through like little trees poking up in the field, then I'd be very happy to see that.
Well, I would have
but it's not. But I wouldn't take credit for it. It would be God. That's my last thing I was going to say.
Yeah, I would have just liked to be able to take stand up for what I had said and not even correct him, but yeah, correct him where he should be directing his anger, because that was me. I am totally against it. I will stand for God on this. I don't care if they want to throw me behind bars because I'm politically incorrect. I don't want to be politically correct. I want to be biblically correct. And if it takes the rest of my life to figure out exactly what that means, I'm willing to dedicate that time. I'm willing to grow, learn, and be corrected. But at the same time, I do expect others to be able to hear my point of view, to see it, to throw correction at me, and not let me defend it with accuracy. Because then
Ryan, mute yourself.
I kept trying to mute him. Ryan, you're getting really bad feedback, brother. I'm sorry. We can't hear anything she's saying whenever your mic's on, and it won't let me mute you.
But yeah, he was just like really talking about me. And then whenever he said what he said about his abusive father being God's will, I couldn't even comment on that because nobody would let me get a word in edgewise, and that was directed to me. And it's like, wait a minute, I have something I could have contributed to on that, and it might have helped him grow. Because as he stated about his abusive father, I had a very abusive mother who was a single parent and a drug addict for 25 years, the first 25 years of my life, as well as an alcoholic who I had to take care of and be a mother to at 5 years old. And while being abused by her. That wasn't God's will, though. God's will was for my mom to come to him. But Satan used his demonic forces to get my mom addicted to those drugs. And that's what allowed her to do. That wasn't God's will, though. But if I could have shared that with him, maybe it could have made a little dent in the back of his mind, planted a seed that God could have used to grow him. And in the fact that we blame God for these things, some people need to be snapped to reality. No, that wasn't God's design. God didn't design for my mom to get on drugs and become abusive. It's what my mom allowed herself to fall into by not following and serving our God. And I was there, but this is how gracious my God was. I'll say this. My God was so gracious that he saw that coming, even though he hoped she would come to him, that he made me strong enough to handle it. And I'm still here today. And I'm able to share that testimony. But whenever nobody lets me get a word in,
look, that was my fault because I had 10 panelists on that evening, and I have realized because of that episode that 6 panelists is more than enough for everybody to get their view in. And also, our original permanent panel was about 6 people, and we got very comfortable with each other and all had rapport, so we spoke bluntly, but we all understood each other. And then we had like a realignment, and we lost a couple panelists, and we gained a couple. And they weren't as familiar with each other as possible, so I let it get too out of hand, and I've had to reel it in, and I'm still reeling it in some areas, but I'm going to get it back in order.
I got you.
I don't like reins, by the way. I hope you understand.
Put the bit in your mouth and like it.
Reins?
Bro, you better watch it with that language. You know I'm going to come around and get you.
The rain, you're being reined in, brother. We're all being reined in. We're doing kingdom work. It's less of us and more of God.
Hey,
look, I don't think I don't think you understand what you've unleashed here, man. I will go find a thesaurus, and you will ban every word in the dictionary once you find out.
Stephen?
Sure. Yes, sir.
I sent you a Facebook message. You'll recognize me.
Okay. I will definitely open that.
Okay, somebody's got an echo.
Yeah, someone does. Anybody have YouTube up in the background?
That's awesome.
Oh.
Let me see.
That's awesome.
Let me put her in
My
the back for just a
StreamYard is
minute.
muted. I got YouTube on.
Is your YouTube down?
No, that was awesome. I could tell it was her audio.
That was weird. It hadn't been doing that the whole episode.
She did something probably like she probably had it on in the background, right? And something interrupted the transmission, so YouTube autoplayed the next play.
Oh yeah, I know you, David. I know exactly who you are. Are you there?
How you doing, Ryan? Are you okay?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly who you are. I just opened up the message.
Yeah. Is it? Do you hear a lot of background noise? Is that what the problem is?
Yes.
It sounds like wind right now.
Wind? Or a train.
Yeah,
wind
it's
or
wind.
a train.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm probably just gonna have to stay muted because it's so freaking hot out here that I have to have my AC turned all the way up just to be relatively comfortable. I have to keep the AC on full because it's like
I know.
today's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. I think 98 degrees. So
Yeah,
Oh,
the heat
Ryan.
index in southern Georgia is like 104 today.
yeah, that's awful. But
Another one from my Facebook friends list.
what's that?
Yeah,
Who's
Ryan's
this?
another Kent Hovind supporter.
Who's talking? Is Isaiah 11?
David Pfluger from
Oh
Last
yeah,
Days Remnant.
yeah. I know you. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've ever actually spoken before,
No.
but I see your posts all the time and all that. Yeah, good to finally
So,
speak to you, Dave.
what's your story,
I'll keep
David?
the air
What's
down
going
as
on
long
with
as
you,
I
buddy?
can.
Okay, I can't hear two people at once. What were you saying, Ryan?
I just said I'll try to keep the air down as long as I can, but I may
Okay.
have to mute myself and turn it back up.
Yeah.
Just mute until you're ready to talk, Ryan, and then we don't hear it as bad when you're talking. And then when you're done talking, mute again.
Okay, Logan, or who was that was asking me another question about?
That was
It's
Dustin.
Dustin.
Oh, Dustin.
All right, what's your story?
As in,
Well, just I mean, what a little bit about your background.
well, I'm 58. Only been saved about 14 years. Only found out about creationism about 6 or 7 years ago, and I have like hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel. From many
what's your
different.
channel? I'll go subs.
Well, look at my name and look that up. That's my YouTube channel name.
If you'd like, you
Okay,
can
thank
share
you.
the
Sorry
link.
for interrupting.
That's okay.
If you'd like, you can share the link, Isaiah, in the private chat, and we can all click and subscribe to it.
Okay, give me a second. Everybody will see it in private.
If you put it in the private chat, everyone on the panel can see it, but no one in the audience.
Okay.
By the way, Pastor
give me a
Chuck,
second. I gotta open another window here, and
no problem. Pastor Chuck,
No rush, buddy.
Share this to your channel.
I'm just curious.
Nope, that's fine. All right, private chat. Link to my playlist are in the private chat.
All right.
Sweet. That'll answer a lot of questions. But from what I can tell, you're a solid man of God, and I'm very, very happy to have met you.
Well, thank you.
I am subscribed to you now, sir.
All right, thank you.
So it is a pleasure meeting you this way. We've enjoyed in the comments before and briefly spoken in Messenger, but good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks. I don't get on much at night, and when I see like Chuck get on in the afternoon and everything, I try to jump right in if my wife's at work.
Yeah, I wondered about that because most of our shows are evening shows, but a lot of our viewers are daytime viewers, according to my analytics. And I wish we could get people to come on the channel that wanted to do a daytime show one day a week or something. That would be awesome.
Well, I'm new to doing this, videos, live streaming stuff, and I mean, if you look at my playlist, I would love to have discussions on some of my content and everything, and so I'm gonna start to try to get into it myself, but it'll be mostly daytime.
Okay. Let me know if you need any help at all. I'd be happy to help you in any way possible.
How do you turn the
Are
computer on
those
again?
wind chimes?
No, that's construction truck backing up or something like that.
So,
Okay.
Do you live here in the South, or are you one of our Yankee brethren like Father Chuck?
Yeah, I'm a Yankee.
I didn't hear an accent, so I couldn't tell. At least you're not from like Brooklyn.
No, I am central Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Farm country.
I got saved down in Orlando. I was homeless for a couple of years back in from 2008 to 2010, and I got saved at the Salvation Army.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I
that's really cool.
had to totally and entirely leave Wisconsin. I made so many enemies. A lot of people hated me up here. Atheists didn't like me before I was saved, and they really hate me now.
You know, it's quite possible
You're in
we've
good
met
company,
before.
buddy.
Yeah, it's possible we've met before because Yassam and I, we were raised like 35, 40 minutes south of Orlando, and we've been to Orlando many of times. So there's always that possibility at a gas station or something we've passed.
I
Father Chuck, you're back awake.
I doubt it very highly because anybody and everybody I knew was there at the Salvation Army. It was a 6-month program, and after I graduated, they hired me on, and I was there for about 3 years. So basically, I slept at home and went to work, and I volunteered, and then I went home. That was my life down there. Oh God, Chuck, not him.
I don't know what
That's
possessed you
Haggard.
to do that.
Oh, I know what it is. I know exactly what he is. He's trolling me. He's trolling me hard. That's hard. Oh, what are you doing, Father Charles? Why? Why would you do that?
Well, I wanted to show Christian's pastor. That's all.
That's not a pastor.
You. I know what you're doing. Don't play dumb.
I think Satan is closer to being a pastor.
You're not playing with a dummy. That's an ingenious move, though. Oh my God, I can't believe you went there. He found the weakness on the board. He found it. He found the weakness on the board.
He's just trying to have fun with us.
No, it was
No, he's trolling me 100%. That was a torpedo that hit my submarine that held all my generals all at the same time. Ouch.
I don't understand what happened.
So when he puts that picture up, he's reminding me that Trump had that pasture at his rally.
Oh, that is a burn.
That is a 3rd-degree burn. That is like he sunk my battleship that was hiding my sub, and sunk my sub at the same time. It just took everything out. Like I have no prayer of a chance.
That wasn't even a torpedo at your battleship. That sunk the USS Enterprise.
It's not even in the water.
But yeah, Stephen, I really liked that video you did with when you went to visit
Mary Nell. Mary Nell?
No. Ron Wyatt's museum.
Yeah, that Mary Nell, that's his widowed wife.
Okay.
It actually wasn't the museum. All of that stuff is in Mary Nell's basement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's not crated up, is it?
No. She's got it all on display, and she tells everybody if you want to come see it, she's happy to show it.
Yeah. You know, when I found that video that I shared with you and everything, I was just like, oh, that's the nails in the coffin.
And you know what bothers me is there are so many people out there who still don't believe of Ron Wyatt's discoveries, and it baffles me. I don't know how they can still deny it.
The only one that I'm skeptical of
The
is
Ark of
the
the
Ark.
Covenant.
Yep.
Everybody says that same thing, man. So you're in good company. I
Well,
believe it
I
simply because all of his other ones I believe were proven correct.
right, and the thing is, I mean, because I seen the sulfur balls, I seen the Ark, I seen the crossing. I didn't see I mean, Noah's Ark I seen, but I did not see the Ark of the Covenant. You know what I mean? I heard him talk, and what he says does make sense.
You know what's weird? Okay, she showed me a photo that one of the photos, they took photo and video down there of all of it. And none of it was able to be viewable. It's all blurry and you can't make it out. But there's one photo that she showed me where it's very blurry, you can't see any details, but it's a very dark area, and then you can see something like a gold color solid object in front of you, but you can't make out what it is. And she says this is the only photo that we were even close to able to salvage. So to me, I believe it. I do. But I agree there's not a lot of evidence.
I by faith I believe it because of how the Holy Spirit worked with him on finding everything else.
Yeah, and have you heard, I don't know if you've heard Mary Nell talk, but she shares a couple of Ron's stories on the 2 interviews I did with her. And one of them was awesome. Ron and his 2 sons, they're traveling in Turkey. They have no idea where to look for the ark, and they pray. Ron tells the kids, we're going to pray that God will take us to it where we need to look when we come back. And on their way back, their car kept stomping for no reason. And they had to get out, and they would put some marker stones, and it happened like 3 or 4 different places. And each one of the marker stones found a different special location, including the ruins of Noah's home with the inscription stone outside of it. And that's where they found the finger bone in one of the grave sites. And it's not far from the actual Noah's Ark.
Go in the private chat, everyone. What he's talking about is in this video. Yeah, that video I shared with you a few months ago and everything, what you're talking about is in that video.
Okay, gotcha. I just saved it. I'm going to watch it later. I'm wondering if they used a lot of the material from, because you know Ron Wyatt has an official YouTube channel that Mary Nell runs.
Oh,
It's called ronwyatt.com, and she's actually working on some new stuff of Ron's work to put up there.
okay. Yeah,
Have you read her book, The Battle for the Firstborn, based off of Ron's research of Moses in Egypt?
no.
David, it is mind-blowing.
Let me look that up. What was it called?
It's called Battle for the Firstborn. It's from Mary Nell Wyatt Lee.
The Exodus and Death of Tutankhamun.
That sounds right. Let me see. Just Battle for the Firstborn?
It starts Battle of the Firstborn. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. It's on Amazon.
Yep, that's it. Yep, I have it. It is a fantastic read, and it's all Ron Wyatt's research about Moses and his time in Egypt and who he was referenced to in Egyptian history. Like, fascinating stuff. I'll give you a spoiler. It's Seminut.
It's what?
When Moses was in Egypt, his name was Seminut, and there are historical records about him that just stop suddenly.
In my playlist, I have one playlist called Biblical History Proven.
Mm-hmm.
I have videos in there with inscriptions from Egypt, and another archaeologist and everything that lives in Israel has found mentions of Yahweh, the nomads of Yahweh. See, by Inuhep, I can never pronounce that pharaoh's name. Inuheptiv, the fourth or third.
In Hupatep.
Yeah.
That one.
It was the second that was the pharaoh of the Exodus, and the third was writing or something like that. But it's explained in the videos. Oh, there it is. Books. I'm saving the book to my book list in Amazon.
Also, the book that Mary Nell has, it also goes into great detail about, again, Ron's research, and he was able to prove that in Egypt, some of the pharaoh's reigns were simultaneous, right? You had a ruler in, I think, Thebes, and then you had another ruler in, not Nashville, it's another Tennessee city name that they took from Egypt. But anyway, Thebes and the other one.
Well, the whole
so they
region,
have a co-regent ruler.
The whole region
Cleveland.
in that Middle East there was pretty much ruled like that. It wasn't just a kingdom, a king of a whole entire kingdom. It was a king of a city, like king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, in Egypt, the way they particularly reigned is they had a co-regent and a pharaoh. So there would be two pharaohs at once, but one was submissive to the other, and he would rule the northern kingdom while one ruled the southern kingdom.
Right.
And historians have placed them one after the other, when more often than not, they're ruling at the same time. So that extends the Egyptian length of history that we're given, which is false and fabricated. But also, whenever a co-regent was promoted to pharaoh, his name down in the other kingdom was still recognized from the name he had down there. But when he moved to rule the kingdom in their main capital, he would take on up there the name of the god that they worshipped in that area. So at times, they have the names of two different rulers who are the same person.
Yeah. I think you would really like my biblical history playlist and everything. I have quite a few videos on the Egypt. Big Bad Mama's the one that got me in that rabbit hole. She's like, oh, there's no evidence for them being in Egypt. I'm like, okay, I guess I know what I'm looking up now.
Right, yep, exactly. Yeah, Big Bad Mama. I don't know what to do with him. He's a trip.
He's redheaded stepchild nobody wants to feed.
I know that his goal in life is to harass Kent Hovind. Like, he wakes up, I think, and he thinks about how he can get at Kent.
Yeah. And that's a lot of the atheists, though. That's why I pretty much stopped even conversing with them, any of the atheist Hovid trolls, because it's pointless. They don't listen, and when you stump them, they just go silent.
How many of our episodes have you been able to catch, David? Since you've been a fan, I've been doing this for Ken, and it's developed into a ministry over the past 10 months. How many episodes do you think you've caught?
I couldn't really tell you, to tell the truth.
Would you think it's enough to say that you've watched how the channel has developed?
Yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, if you look at my playlist, you'll see the kind of content that I really go looking for. I mean, I'd say 98% of my content is not of Kent Hovind, which also is a result of atheists because they once accused me of being a Hovid worshiper, and all I listen to is Hovid, and Hovid this and Hovid that, and oh, okay. And when
Well-
his channel got taken down, I lost everything that I had on him.
Yeah.
So now I've found videos and I've downloaded them onto a thumb drive. Which
That's the way to go.
If you want, the computer program that I use to download videos off of YouTube is called 4K Video Downloader.
Oh yeah, that's a popular one.
Okay, I didn't know if anybody knew.
Actually, that's the one Father Chuck uses too.
Oh. Okay.
If you do like the historical stuff though, and you're a fan of the Ron Wyatt, then Mary Nell and her husband, because Ron's been deceased about 20 years now or so.
Right.
Her husband and her are going to Mount Sinai in October, and her
Okay.
husband just got back from Turkey doing another visit to Noah's Ark and helping with the earthquake that they had there. And when they get back, they're going to give us a full update on Noah's Ark and the status of it, how it's holding together, how they're turning it into a tourist attraction. And then they're going to give us the updates on Mount Sinai, which they are also turning into a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I heard the Saudi government is opening that up now.
Oh yeah, they have a whole city that they're building not far from it, and that's going to be a huge centerpiece for pilgrimage.
Yeah, but I
Christians
wonder
who wanna come see
how
it.
much of that's going to get destroyed.
I think most of it. I think
because-
everything around it, which is just as historical as the actual burnt mountain, is going to be leveled, and that's sad because the plains where the Israelites camped out are still there.
Yep.
They have hieroglyphic type writings all over the rocks at the bottom of the mountains, and you're going to lose all of that.
They've already chipped away carving of a menorah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yep. The candlestick. It's a menorah.
There was a Chinese guy that went there, and he took a picture of it before it got carved out.
Yeah, they even have etchings in some of the stones of the calf that they were worshiping.
Yep. Let me see if I can't find that video with the Chinese guy.
It got overshadowed. My emotions and my favorite pieces, the Noah's Ark timber deck piece that I got to hold. But to be perfectly honest with you, just as special to me was that piece of the burnt stone from Mount Sinai.
Right.
In many ways, to me, that was even cooler than the deck timber. But I don't know. I think Noah's Ark gets a little more publicity, so that one was like, whoa.
Actually, I think anything to do with my Egyptology is in my KJV Exodus playlist.
That would work. Are you King James only?
Yes.
Got you. I think you're the only King James only one on the panel. Yasum uses the Holy Scriptures. I use the NASB. Chuck uses the Septuagint and the NASB. I'm not sure what Dustin uses. And Ryan, what do you use? Do you use King James?
I feel very burnt right now.
No, I'm serious. I don't think you've ever
I'm
told us
sorry.
what version you read.
Yes, I use King James. I use King James.
In private chat, I shared a link to a video that I have with another guy that went to Mount Sinai, Dr. Kim.
Okay, cool. I will definitely check that out. Yeah, I love Mount Sinai.
But
Well,
there's
Chuck, Yawsome, and Dustin, I want to get you guys in the conversation too. Do you guys have any input on what we're
I
talking
mean,
about?
we could throw
Sorry,
all
I'm just
kinds of
getting back to
bacon
the
bits
conversation.
and we can throw all kinds of bacon bits and Caesar salad dressing all over this. It depends on which way you want to go.
I'm sorry. What was that? I was asleep.
This guy over here, the troll is so strong. The troll is too much.
I'll tell you what, that power nap helped, man. I've been up since 4, guys. And after me and Steven went through our roundabout, Steve knows what I'm talking about with the program, StreamYard, and yeah, I sat back, and before I knew it, I got people. Are you all right?
You know what, Pastor?
Did you die on us?
Because they've both had so much, so many facelifts and so much Botox. I can't tell if your profile picture is Jesse Duplantis or Joe Biden.
well, that ain't Biden.
Oh, I meant to change him out. I'm sorry, Jesse. He's one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, right. Anyway. Sorry
I know
about
that's
that.
not true. You love Kenneth Copeland, though.
Oh, yeah.
Love him.
He's my idol. He is, yeah.
I pray that everybody listening to this knows that this is satire.
Yeah.
I hope so, too. I do. I hope so, too. That...
Because the truth is, only Dustin listens to Joel Osteen.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, wait.
I don't know where you're coming up with this from.
I know you guys couldn't have heard me snoring. I was on mute, right? Yeah.
I just want to tell everyone
that's what scared me the most is that we couldn't hear you breathing.
Well, at least you know where you're going.
No, I'm serious. I felt so revived when I came back. Came out of the nap. I was up 4:45. I laid in bed for 15 minutes. Anyway, enough of my nap.
Maybe the Holy Spirit was coming to visit you there, Father Charles.
Maybe.
That's possible. Maybe you just came over you. It was overwhelming, and you had to succumb.
All
well,
I know is
I'll tell you what. I've had that happen to me in my lifetime. So that's yeah.
Well, I didn't see any bald spots, Pastor, so congratulations.
My man, Steven.
No, I'm serious. You have a full head of hair, and you're over 40. Yeah. So odds are you'll die with a full head of hair.
Yeah, well. It might be white.
My hair is the only thing I have going for me.
That's one thing you will get to take with you when you go.
Yeah. Might be snow on the roof, but you're gonna have all your shingles.
That's it, bro. You got it.
That's good. Yeah.
I can't even accuse you of going below the belt on that one.
Oh man. So Dustin, by your background picture, are you saying that you believe Trump should endorse DeSantis again? Because I cannot agree with you enough.
Do you notice that it says, oh, really? There's 2 concessions on the board I got to play now. Do you notice how it says endorsed in the past tense? And it sounds like you're interested in an endorsement from Trump.
You think I am?
Well, it sounds like you are for Ron.
Let me tell you, buddy. If I was a small boat out in the ocean and I needed to be pulled by a bigger boat, I would not latch myself onto the Titanic that is President Trump.
Well, then why did you ask for it? You were so crazy. I'm going to go ahead and let you try and smooth that brick layer out. But I think you and I both know when we look back at that wall, there's a significant issue.
You know what, though? When you look at the destruction of critical race theory, we got to give a shout out to Ron DeSantis.
Oh, like it's good.
Going against the LGBT, attacking our youth through Disney. We got a shout out to
You're talking about.
And DeSantis standing up about these, this sexualization in our schools. Yeah.
When we talk about sending illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. What? Ron DeSantis.
Do you know?
DeSantis.
Do you know what
That's my
actually
man.
is going on there?
Breaking your
Do
house
you
and
know
threatening
what?
your family? Ron DeSantis.
Do you know what is actually going on right there? You're condensing all the conservatives into a controllable area. You're not really thinking about the game and how the board is set. Like, if I wanted to attack a certain spot, see, you're not going to let me finish, are you? No, seriously though, that's like a magnet for anybody who wants to go and live free, right? That's a way to sort out dissidents. You're not looking at the bigger picture, right? Like, Ron is over there, I'm big man, I'm taking on Disney, even though he's not hurting Disney, right? And he's telling everyone, oh, you don't need to wear a mask and your kids can be free. What is that? That sounds like a freedom paradise. All you're doing is attracting anybody who's dissonant to the government onto an island, essentially, where all they have to do is drop a nuke from Cuba and, oh, what happened?
Great story, bro.
That would be true if he was alone, but then you got people like Texas standing with him, and it becomes a joint union.
Joint union separated by a body of water.
Dustin, I'm going to put you in the back because it's my turn. And you hushed me earlier. So here's the deal. Ron DeSantis gave us a looking glass into freedom, and that is Florida. And the American people know that. And the Americans who want that taste of freedom throughout the whole United States, they're going to pick Ron DeSantis because not only did all the Republicans move to Florida, but most of our Democrats moved out, praise Jesus. So we're going to have that same effect nationwide when Ron DeSantis is in the Oval Office. People who hate our freedoms, who are the liberals, they're going to move to Canada, praise Jesus. And
allow me a rebuttal.
From around the world are going to come here, and we're going to be that beacon on a hill again like we were supposed to be, like Ronald Reagan said.
Allow me a rebuttal. You can set off all the roach bombs you want. The reality is you only get a few of them, and they all migrate somewhere else. And just when you think you're safe, they come back. It never works like you think it does, buddy. I'm sorry. You're living in a fantasy world. If you think Ron is going to come with some magical Band-Aid and wipe out all the cockroaches, it's just not going to happen, bro.
No.
And the thing is that all you're doing, let me finish, all you're doing is creating a sterile environment where everybody's happy-go-lucky and nobody has their defenses up, and somebody's kid's going to get snatched, and it's going to become national news, and they're going to use that as it just, the cycle repeats itself.
Wait a minute. You're talking about Floridians? Hold on. DeSantis is over the Floridians. Let me tell you about Floridians. We are always on the defensive, ready to fight for our right to whatever we want. We are always on guard, ready to fight. So that's an inaccurate statement. We're not
I've spoken my piece, and mark my words, it's gonna happen. One of you guys are gonna get careless.
Dustin, you're assuming that we think Ron DeSantis is going to kill all the cockroaches, and that's incorrect. I'm not stupid enough to believe 8 years is enough to kill all the roaches. However, all I want to do is send the roaches back to California, back to New York City, and back to Massachusetts where they belong.
It'll never happen.
Can I add in real quick? Now, I'm a strict Bible-believing Christian. Okay? In the private chat, I am adding a video after why I'm King James, but if you watch that video, you're going to find out that it's not going to matter who wins this election at all, because it's all coming crumbling down, all of it.
I agree with that.
And I get this from the Bible, not from my opinion.
Can I have y'all's attention for just a moment?
And when the walls.
Yes, Ryan.
Yeah, do you see where I am?
You're on Seminary Road.
You're outside.
I'm doing I'm working. Yeah, but I'll go ahead and mute again. I just wanted you to see that I went to seminary today.
You just wanted to remind us that Big Brother was watching.
Okay.
We
All
know
right.
you work for the government, Ryan. You're not fooling us, but we love
Well, I'm not trying to fool you.
you. You'd be doing a terrible job with your post office patch.
If I wanted to fool you, I wouldn't be showing my cam. But anyway, I'll get back to work and I'll let y'all continue to talk. I just wanted you to see that I was on seminary.
By the way, guys, Ryan is a DeSantis guy also. So in this room of conservatives, we are 3-3.
And let me just say, your mailman is the government official that knows you better than anybody.
Oh, you're right.
Wrong, DeSanctimonious.
Well, not that one. He doesn't know me.
No, your postman.
But no, as I was saying, that this video, it's one of the ones that I would like to do a live stream Bible study with, because it goes from Genesis all the way up through Revelation on the Messianic timeline, and right out of the King James. Everything. I've been getting into this the last few weeks and everything, and I've pretty much gave up on any of the politics. I don't think Democrats are going to let either Trump or DeSantis into the office again.
So
I really
you're just
don't.
completely disenfranchised. You have no interest in participating anymore.
I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna do my civic duty.
Do you mind if we ask you who you're going to vote for in the primary?
If Trump's on the
ticket, dude, why are you? You see, this right here is why I call you a sidecar instigator. No, you need rebuking right now, sir. That is not. That's a very personal question, and you shouldn't be asking people that unless you're like a poll person.
Why?
And if I had a problem with it, I would refuse to answer it. I am trying to answer it.
The Republican
go ahead.
Party
I'm just
literally.
That's a personal thing between him and me.
The Republican Party literally enlisted me to go door to door to ask strangers who they were going to vote for in the primary. This is not something unethical.
Are you currently doing this?
I don't go by the.
Are you currently doing this as an employment?
Keep cutting me off, and you're going in the back. Stop.
Okay. After the last election, something else is coming up again. I honestly believe there's going to be another lockdown. There's going to be another mask mandate, and they're going to steal the election again. So, I mean, they got away with it once. There's no reason to think that they're not going to at least try to get away with it again.
Here's my issue with Trump, though. I personally, and you guys are all welcome to disagree with me, including you, Dustin. You guys can all disagree with me, but I think Trump is a selfish candidate in a lot of ways. And if he loses this election, in 4 more years, if he's able to walk on stage, he's going to run again and split our party then too. And then 4 years after that, if Trump is still alive and breathing and not on an oxygen tube, Trump's going to run for president again. And until he wins, he's going to keep dividing the party. And I love Trump. He really was one of the best presidents of my lifetime. He's the new Ronald Reagan. He'll be referred to as that for a long time. And he probably did get shafted out of the election with the mail-in ballots. I don't disagree with any of that. But the point is, they'll never let him back in the Oval Office. And as long as he keeps running, we have 0 chance.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I agree with everything you said.
I can agree with that. To me personally, I have never, ever liked Donald Trump at all. Long before he even got into politics. But what made me vote for him in 2016 was when I watched that debate. He was the only one, the very first question, which one of you would go independent if not nominated by the Republican Party? And he was the only one that raised his hand. And the reason
Yeah.
being, there's also something else in the background. There were military generals that actually approached him and asked him to run because they were going to do a coup. Conspiracy theory, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the private circle of all them elite people and everything else, but it made complete sense. And why they got so damn upset about Trump and anything and everything that he did. I mean, if he peed white, he was racist.
You're right. They never gave him a fair chance, and I do think that's because he hated the establishment. I think Trump was never really, truly, fully accepted into the good old boy club, and I think that burned him. And I think he did have his goals set on bringing down the establishment because it was selfish and it was bullcrap. And I think he worked on it.
Where do you get this great insight from?
Look, I'm no more special than you guys, but what I can say is my family has been deeply involved in politics since I was a young child, to a very large degree, very hands-on, and I've been around politics my whole life, so I do have some insight. I'm not a village idiot on this.
Well, no, but look, you're saying that Trump got burned because he was never invited. Okay, there's videos that show this, but you're not. I mean, how do you know what's going on in his head? When you cross that,
I don't know.
I know, but
I'm telling you my opinion.
Well, you're not voicing it that way. I would at least put like some kind of segue in there, or maybe a disclaimer. I didn't hear one. You kind of just put it out there like this is what he's thinking and this is what's going on. I mean, how do you know that?
ProverbsGuy and Trump are telepathically linked.
Yes, we are.
No, you don't have enough of a comb over.
No. Look, Dustin, I know you think I'm always beating up on Trump, but
no, I'm asking you a question. What's the question? Look, there's even psychological ramifications to the way you answer this question.
Though, not really a question.
But I asked the question and you didn't answer it. I'm asking you. How do you know?
I'm asking you to reiterate the question.
How do you know what Trump is thinking? How do you know what's in his mind?
I did answer that question, and then you shunned me.
No.
I said that it was an opinion, and you said, well, you didn't state it that way. Remember?
You didn't.
I didn't know we were doing a full circle. Okay, I'll reiterate my answer.
I remember that.
I should have said, Dustin, is that was a personal opinion, and I don't have telepathic tentacles connected to President Trump.
There's one thing about Trump.
All right.
There's one thing about Trump is no one really has to guess what he's thinking. He's got a big mouth. He says what's on his mind and tries his best to do it. But he's got too big of a mouth for his own good. But if he's on the ticket, he's got my vote.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, if he's not on the ticket,
he's got my vote.
Then DeSantis has it.
Look, I'll be honest with you guys. In 2015, in the primaries, I went for Ben Carson. Well, at least I was going to, but he dropped out before Florida voted for him. So I just didn't vote. I supported Ben. And I didn't like Trump. But when Trump was our guy for the ticket, I hated Hillary. So I voted for Trump, regrettably. At the time.
A lot of people did, Stephen, because of that.
I held my nose and did it. But he did surprise me. And as time went on, I had less and less reasons to dislike him because his policies were great, even though his personality sucks. Worst presidential personality we've ever had.
Please disagree if you.
Hey, whoa! Wait! Hold on. Hold on here. I have to.
Dustin, you're cutting Chuck off now.
I have an objection.
You can come back to it, but just let other people talk.
Dustin, mine's very quick, and it's very simple, and many may disagree. If Trump would have stayed off Twitter he'd be president right now. I think Twitter was his downfall. I
I
mean,
disagree. I
you
think
disagree,
I
Steve?
think
Okay,
I think
go
his
ahead.
downfall was the big epidemic that happened.
You think so? Okay.
I do. If it wasn't for that, I think he would have won in a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
That whole situation was. There were a lot of opportunists, put it that way, that benefited from that epidemic.
His big mistake, in my opinion, was making Fauci vice president.
Oh yeah, that's another. Yeah, you could. You definitely have an argument for that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I could personally testify that the mail-in election or mail-in ballots was totally a fraud. My wife got 3 ballots mailed to her at 3 different separate times.
I got 2. I really did. I got 2 ballots. Yeah.
They mailed me 5.
Mm.
I got none because I have always voted Republican.
No, I got to tell you, I got 2 ballots, and I'm sorry, I'm registered independent. Okay.
I'm registered Republican.
Because I got 3 at the address I was living at and 2 at my prior address that a family member had taken over. So I had gotten 5 total. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
My wife actually voted for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
When I think the first time, or no, the second time, and everything. And that's why I'm thinking she got all them ballots. Because I didn't get any.
Right.
I voted for John McCain, hoping he would eventually stroke out and Sarah Palin would take over.
Now, Palin, she definitely would have had my vote in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I loved her. She was a good one. As a matter of fact, if Trump wanted to be smart, I think he could win over a lot of women if he would tap Sarah Palin on the shoulder, and she's still admired by Republicans.
But yeah, my opinion on the whole election thing and everything stands by the Bible and everything. I really don't think the New World Order is coming, and it's Trump or DeSantis isn't going to allow it. So
that's true.
It's biblically coming, and those 2 people are going to stand in the way of it. So I'm willing to bet they're going to get air conditioning in their heads.
That's a very interesting way of saying that.
Because they're obviously not shutting Trump down. Okay, look what they did with Kennedy.
Yeah.
And everything.
Oh, he's way too protected for that. He's probably bought so much security, it's ridiculous.
Trust me, if there's a will, there's a way.
What scares me about President Trump, though, even though I am fond of him, is if he could bypass the people, and when I say the people, I mean Congress, the House and the Senate, and do everything himself with a signature, he gladly would. And that's scary.
Dude.
That's too much
on the real
concentrated power in one signature.
Are you kidding me? President Bush sent...
If he was going to do that, he should have done it before the 2020 election, before the pandemic broke out.
Dustin
President
and I
Bush
disagree on this, but I think he attempted it.
What? No, what are you talking about? How? When? You telling
know
me
what I'm
that?
Talking about.
Can I speak for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Seconds.
If Trump signed any kind of an insurrection act whatsoever, they're bound by law to obey it, right? Like the other end of the equation is if that was an insurrection, that was the poorest run insurrection in the history of insurrections. Kristallnacht was done better than that. And as a closer, I would like to point out that Bill Clinton did not have sex with Monica Lewinsky.
Huh?
That
was a joke.
At all is that relevant?
Okay, but
Jeez.
all of that is relevant.
In my view of J6 and everything, if it was actually like Lost Boys or whoever they are, and a real insurrection of real American Trump, real constitutional American people, conservatives, we'd still be in that White House. Not a single one was armed. They went into the White House wearing a bear suit. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but security was showing people around.
Yeah, and
so
the police were actually saying, "Come on, come on!" There's videos on YouTube about it.
So Trump was trying an insurrection. Is that what I heard you say? Trump was trying an insurrection.
That's not what we said.
I'm saying it was all.
Well, but then what do you mean when you say Trump tried?
I didn't say Trump tried. I said
no. I'm talking to Proverbs.
You know what I mean.
No, I want to know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. No. You mean that telephone call?
Calls prove Trump.
Oh my God! Seriously? Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I would never want you on my jury.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on your jury. All right. Anybody else? So Chuck, Yawsome, do you guys have any input on this? Yawsome's pretty political herself.
I have a friend named Jesus.
All right. Thank you for reminding us from yesterday that you have a Latino friend.
You killed me! Oh my God!
Yawsome just started a trend. She just started something that's not going to end.
I'm finding it all very interesting. Really, very interesting. Mm-hmm.
So, Yawsome, what do you think about the President Trump situation? Do you think he needs to be our tickets nominee? And if he is, do you think he'll take the general election?
No, as I stated, I totally agreed with you 100% on that. It's just another division. We need to get away from the division right now. Mm-hmm. Because we as the people need to regain the power over our country as our constitutional right. And if we don't stand up and take the right back from the bankers and put it back with the Congress to print the ability to print money so that we're living by the Constitution again, because that is unconstitutional, then we're going to continue to live as slaves. Because honestly, as long as the bank's allowed to have the constitutional right to print our currency and control our currency, we're always going to be slaves to the economy, to the point where we're living like we are now, barely making it. Nobody can afford to take a day off. A single person's income can't put food on the table. And it's just, Trump's not going to do it right now because he's causing division.
I can agree with that.
You know what's interesting to me? There's a fire that happened over in Maui, right? And we don't associate that with Biden at all.
We don't? What, do you have a mouse in your pocket?
Hey, cuz, I think you have YouTube playing in the background.
That's debatable.
Somewhere.
No, I don't, but my kids are in the pool.
No, it's not that, but someone has an echo, and usually that only happens when they're listening to this on YouTube out loud, but also on the stream.
Well, I think it's
Ryan. I don't have any windows open but this one.
Oh, it ain't me. I got my Xbox headphones and mic on.
Well, just Pastor, you talk.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is it's actually a precarious situation because as you, Stephen, I'm for DeSantis, but what's going to happen, and I don't see Trump being a team player. I think he knows he can't win the general election. I think he'll come close, but he's going to have to put his support behind Ron DeSantis. If he does that, DeSantis will be the next president of the United States. However,
I agree with that.
however, I don't see Trump being a team player and putting forth his support for Ron, and therefore, God knows what we're going to have next as a president.
Well, here's the thing that's going to be scary about this election. If it is another Trump versus Biden election, both Trump and Biden are playing for literally all the cards and most likely their lives. Because there's a decent chance one of those men, whether they're innocent or guilty, whether charges be accurate on Biden's side or trumped up on Trump's side, one of those men is probably going to do actual prison time, and the other one will not pardon the first. So Trump is campaigning for his life, and Biden is going to be campaigning for his life.
I agree. Yeah.
Biden's got one foot in the grave and then the other on a banana peel.
Well, that's true too. I don't see him living through the campaign, much less being reelected.
I'd be surprised if he lives through tomorrow. He's gonna slip and fall and hit his head.
You know,
I
we
think
are
that's
all just one trip and fall away from President Kamala Harris.
You're
think
right.
That's the point,
You're right.
Ryan.
I
Stop
agree.
speaking now.
I think immediately after Biden is elected, they'll be in prison. Or immediately after Biden's elected, they'll kill him or he'll die, and Kamala takes over.
I will retch so hard there will be nothing left in my body.
And no one wants her, Republican nor Democrat. Look at their numbers among the Democratic Party. They don't want her either. So it's going to be interesting, guys. I'll tell you.
Well, and here's the sad part, right? Let's assume for a moment that, and Tabitha, it is coming from yours. I don't know if you have something pulled up in the background. You may want to leave and come back.
My mic's off.
I don't know. It definitely is echoing, though. Okay.
And Ryan has his muted. Like I said, I'm wearing the headphones and the microphone.
It was hers. I know it was.
Okay.
She'll come back.
But in all honesty, I think as Christians, this isn't really our concern. It's not going to happen one way or the other. I really don't think either of them are even going to make it. I don't think the Democrats are going to allow it. And we're reaching the end of the Bible.
A deer.
I agree with you that most likely in the end days, but here's the thing. They've thought that since the apostles were spreading the gospel, and I still firmly believe that this is the end. However, there's an off chance we're still a few hundred years or even 1,000 years. It's up to God, and we don't know, so we need to be ready, but I think it would still be irresponsible to not try to leave our children the best version of our country that we can.
Okay, Stephen, here's one thing that I ask. I mean, you're free to disagree with me, and I do get that from the apostles on forward. Everybody has stated the same thing. But if you watch that video that I shared and everything, you're going to be less skeptical about that, and you're going to see something.
I'm not skeptical, though. I think that's what you don't get. I'm about 99% sure that we're living in the last days.
Okay.
I'm the one who's skeptical.
Right.
Okay, then,
I very much
Dustin,
think it's
you
the
watched
last
that
days.
video.
But on the off chance...
Well, I'm going to watch the video.
On the off chance this is not the end yet, we owe it to our children to try to not leave them a crap show.
Right. I totally agree with you, and even though that's how I feel, I'm still going to go vote on the primary and vote on the general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's what I'm sad about though with Kamala Harris is if something did happen to Biden, say he even resigned after the election if he won, and Kamala takes over as the first president, she is going to set females back for the position of president for at least another 50 years.
Yep.
She's going to be a disaster, and it's going to get blamed on her gender instead of her terrible policies.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack.
How do you know? How do you know that there wouldn't be a snapback and the reverse is possible, right? What if by the poor job that she does, another woman steps up and says, hey, hold my beer, and completely smashes the field? How do you know?
That's a possibility and everything, but at the same time, Stephen is making sense.
I'm giving you the rational outcome. That doesn't mean it's betting odds, but it's the rational outcome.
I'd be willing to bet. Well, okay, I'll let that stand.
Dustin, watch that video.
P-Town, welcome to the conversation, and Yalsum, I'm glad you came back.
She did say before that her kids were in the pool.
Yeah. Okay, so she might be listening to them. P-Town, you there, bud? If you are there, you're muted.
I'm back.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you came back, Yalsum. You sound great now, no echo.
Fantastic.
Hey, P-Tone.
Still can't hear you, P-Town, but I feel like you were a step closer because you unmuted. Okay, so Pastor, I actually included you on the Trump side earlier, but you just said you're also a DeSantis guy. So that's actually 4 DeSantis guys. 2 Trumpers
Stephen,
and P-Town, we're not sure.
I think he's the only one that can win the general election. Now, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's my final statement on that. We don't have anyone else that could win the general election. So if DeSantis is not running in the general election, like I said earlier, God knows what we end up with.
I'll tell you what, one other possible candidate is that new guy, Vivek. I don't know if you guys watched the debate, but he held his own.
No, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either,
yeah.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I have to take a quick phone call, Pastor. Can you manage this?
Sure.
Me, I am going to have to not say definitely Trump. Because yes, I would vote for Trump, but at the same time, his public policies were a train wreck. I mean, you wouldn't believe how I voted for him the first time and the second time, but you wouldn't believe how many times I sat there at my TV going, "Shut up!" You're using a crane to bury yourself.
Right. Yeah, I've always said, and I'm sure many other people have said, Trump's worst enemy is his own self.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. If he could restrain, well, I'll say it again. I know I'm repeating myself, guys, but if he could have been, if he could have restrained himself better while he was in his first term, I have no doubt in my mind he's president right now. He's in his second term. But I mean, with Twitter, I mean, he was just bashing people right and left. They're wondering if he had mental issues, and
they ignored Biden.
That's what destroyed him. And I'm sure people have tried to tell him this, and of course we can only guess how Trump would respond to something like that.
Right.
Like
Fired.
you're fired. Exactly. Yeah. So
When you're in a presidential position, though, you can't just fire people, especially because a lot of those employees have contracts. I mean, it's a little bit different than him being on his show.
I mean, that might be fair, but the weird thing is, Dustin, is I feel like President Trump probably holds the record for firing the most people from his cabinet and the most people resigning.
I think you're right, Stephen.
From his cabinet. From his cabinet. From where he can fire.
Yeah, but it still falls under the name of Trump.
Right. Are you saying it slow so you understand it? Because I know what it means.
No, I think you're conflating an issue. I think you're conflating an issue. I really do.
Dustin, what if I try it? Cabinet.
Nope, I still understand.
It makes it funnier. I will add that. It will make it funny.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Who is I have a friend named Jesus?
I have no idea.
I think that's Ryan.
It's me.
Oh,
and that's
boy.
Johnny Pizza with me. He's a customer on my route, and he owns a restaurant that doesn't serve pizza.
Yeah, the irony. Well, tell him and your Latino friend Jose that we said hola.
Hola.
No, it was
Hola.
Jesus. I'm sorry, Jesus.
Yeah. All right.
That was really racist of you, cuz.
He's the one who brings it up every single time he comes
I'm saying
on the show.
confusing Jose and Jesus is really racist of you.
Look, I call all these guys different names all the time.
I call my kids each other's names, okay?
Now that was racist. Are you saying they all look alike?
Dude, they all look like their oldest sister, yes.
They look like Jasmine from Aladdin.
Haley was Jasmine one year for a school event whenever she was in a stupid public school. But yeah, she looked identical to the drawing character. It was adorable.
Was she in the ESV classes?
No, she didn't attend. She didn't meet your teacher, but yeah.
Oh, man. What a burn. That's family for you.
Hey, Stephen.
A lot of love.
Yes, sir.
I would really like to see you do a take video on that video that I'm asking you guys to watch.
I mean, I would love to add that to the list of things I have going on. But right now, I've really only had enough time for live streams. And I'm even considering taking a month off from doing my personal live show. But Ryan will still be doing his and Stump and Chuck. I might still show up and hang out on their shows, but not doing my own for a while. But I do have a couple scheduled coming up. One of them is Jesus Christ, Son of God or God in the Flesh. One of them is Apostle Paul or Apostate Paul. And we just did the alien one, which was a disaster.
That was a train wreck.
So is that like a book club for a video? Like we all watch it and then we get together and talk about it kind of thing? Is that what you mean by that?
No, those are just episodes that I have coming up where those are the topics. Like the
No,
next
I'm
one
talking
coming
about
up is
him
Apostle
wanting-
Paul or Apostate Paul.
No, I meant with you talking or with what he said on watching the video and doing a whatever he called on it.
I think he's referring to like a reaction video.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Proverbs.
Sir.
Proverbs. Where are you in the series of ProverbsGuy channel? Where are you? Like, are you like right behind us, or are you like a couple months back?
Wait, what?
Where are like in the review that you do? Like when you're using the plow and you're listening to us, how far back are you?
Oh, I'm caught up.
You're caught up. You're caught up.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I have done 60 plus, it's like 69 or 70 now of the Proverbs Guy hangouts. And then I did like 40 of the Jesus forums with Chuck and I. And then I did 4 of the Jesus forum with Chuck, me, and Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot out there.
Stephen, I'll probably get with you on Facebook Messenger and asking how to do things for getting up live.
I'd be happy to take the time to show you.
Because I mean, I find these videos and it's like I watch them and then I watch them again and again and again, and it's like, this is all biblical. I need to share this. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Isaiah, which one of these links is that video specifically?
The
timer.
last one.
The last one. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Messiah 2030.
Okay, I got it.
Full title. Well, for everybody else, so Messiah 2030, the prophetic
that video.
messianic timeline.
Yeah, they say that's when Jesus is coming back, right? I've watched that video.
Oh, you have?
It was pretty compelling.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I've seen it also. It was very compelling.
I'm
about to watch it.
I disagree with it because my calculations, the world is only about 6,700 to 6,900 years old. So I think there's a few more hundred years until we hit 7,000 years. I believe when it hits 7,000 years, it'll be the start of Jesus's millennial kingdom, his 1,000-year reign, which will complete the 7th 1,000-year period, which is the 7th day, the day of rest. He's Lord of the Sabbath. So I think it just lines up that way personally.
Okay. Nope. It's hard to really gauge the timeline, because so many people have messed with the historic time. So, but I do agree with a lot of it.
Calendars that different people used throughout history. It does make it hard.
But the Jewish calendar is coming up to the 6,000 year mark. I don't know exactly where it is. And the China calendar, as a matter of fact.
You do realize,
I just got updated that this is being live streamed to Atheist Junior. So on a count of 3,
I told you.
If everybody could just shout out "coward" on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, coward.
Coward. Well, I have a few other words.
Oh, he's streaming yesterday's stream. Well, hopefully this gets to him. Will you let him know my darkened understanding that we all think highly of him?
Okay,
that guy hates Kent Hovind.
Steven?
Sir.
I just Googled Jewish year and it says 5783 or 5784. So yeah, you could be right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, it just, a lot of things are starting to shape up though, like it's coming, you know?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like I said earlier, I think there's like a 99% chance that I will see the end of days the Revelation speaks of. I feel actually really firmly about that. We have always had signs of the end times happen throughout history, but there's never been a time in history ever where so many of the signs have come together at one time at very weird times and crossroads in our history, like it is now.
Correct. China year is 4720, which would bring it right at about to where the time of the flood.
I could buy that.
I'm reading off of Google right now.
Yeah, so what's interesting is the flood happens 4,400 years ago. So the world was only around 1,500 years old, if that, when the flood happened. So the earth was not very old when it was destroyed. Like, we turned that wicked that fast.
Right. And if we lived to 1,000 years now, maybe not that fast, but pretty dang quick.
Well, I believe we're almost as bad as we were that in those days. But it took us 4,400 years to get there again, instead of just 1,000 to 1,500. So
Well,
we did a little better, but we're still pretty freaking wicked.
it's pretty much because of our limited lifespans compared to the flood time.
Remember when I first came on your show and Aiden and I had it out about how there had to be a human that lived long enough in order to devise civilization?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just interesting that these two things are, I mean, in my mind, there's a direct relation.
Well, if you look at the time frames, okay, so Methuselah was the grandfather of Noah, and Methuselah was old enough that he would have known Adam. Not just known about Adam, but known Adam.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and
So look, there's an issue with this though, man, and I'm trying to get you to understand with time dilation, right? I mean, it's like I said. So there's a car accident. You're a mile away, right? And I'm 3 miles away, right? We see the same car accident, but the light got to your eyes before it got to mine, right? So the way we measure the time is kind of flawed.
if I may, Dustin, I think you're like on my opinion, kind of on the hinge of day-age gap theory, which
No, that's not the same thing that I'm saying.
well, I was
Isn't it, though?
thinking that same way before I learned about creation. So, what, Chuck?
What I'm saying is that we have a calendar issue, right?
Oh yeah,
And I personally believe that they erased 1,000 years of history, or put in 1,000 years of history, I should say, and we're actually in the the new 1900s.
I forgot you believed that.
something to add, Chuck?
No.
Oh,
I was thinking of a song now. Anyway.
You
okay.
did seem like you were holding back, though. It looked like Ryan was having to hold you back.
I have another video, I believe, is in my Exodus playlist where they talk about the Egyptian history being tampered with.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
See if I can find
I've seen a couple of them. I don't know if I've seen yours, but
you probably have. I mean, a lot of my I consider myself a librarian, if anything.
That's cool.
Yasum, you are too happy about those chickens. No one should be that happy about a chicken.
My chickens, my ducks, and then hold on, one more thing.
Look,
One more
I'm
thing.
Southern, and I
You
don't
see-
smile that big when chicken shows up to my table covered in deep fry.
See my Japanese eggplant too? I'm so happy about that too. Look at that.
All
Are
that
any
And
of
my
your
that one-
lemongrass?
Are any of your chickens named Jose?
No.
Jesus.
We've got scrambled eggs and
Jesus.
Because
Well,
Ryan is
scrambled
like,
eggs and sunny side up and
just so people out there listening to this don't take it out of context and think we're being blasphemous, I want to explain the Jesus thing. So,
Yeah,
over,
please do,
multiple-
Stephen.
Over multiple episodes, just randomly, Ryan will come on the stream on his microphone and say, I have a friend named Jesus, and then just leave. He just
Well-
drops that off and he leaves.
Well, no, it originated back when we were talking about the Hispanic pronunciation, the Latino pronunciation of Jesus being Jesus,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
just reminded me that I had a friend named Jesus, and I just told, but for some reason it really tickled Yasmin, one Yasmin woman. It really tickled her funny bone. She really,
yes.
and since that
It
happened,
was
I said,
so
well, I'm just
random.
going to have to keep doing it now. I'm just going to have to keep saying that.
Well, she doesn't know you, Ryan, and we're used to having shows and we'll be in some deep conversation about like how big the nails at the crucifixion were, and then all of a sudden you'll come on screen with candy from Publix and be like, hey guys, 1 second, I need to plug this because this is the best peanut butter candy you have ever had.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny? I've started seeing ads on Facebook for Unreal peanut butter cups. I'm thinking, why did that show up randomly? See, that just lets you know that they're watching us. They really are watching us.
Ryan, they don't have... No, they've got better things to do than watch us.
Well, how did they know that I like Unreal peanut butter cups?
As I said in the comment box.
I don't know if it's because, you know, the Publix checkout counter, the register, the register somehow it sent some kind of signal letting them know that I bought it. I don't really know. It's just a theory. I don't know how they know these things.
Well, I'm sure
But
everything you purchase, whether it be an online purchase or it be a purchase at an actual store, groceries, whatever, I'm sure all of that information is sent somewhere to somebody's desk, and they're making sure you're not buying a shovel and duct tape and lye and getting postal diggers all in one purchase, you know? It makes sense, too, but at the same time, like, do better at convincing me that you're not doing it.
If you have your enrichment methods dialed in, you really don't need all that stuff. They give you enough of it in the common household chemicals. You just need to like reduce it out.
Okay, disclaimer, nobody do that, what Dustin just said.
They would need at least
No, Dustin,
3 years
don't
of
tell
chemistry
them.
and
No. Gee.
I really do like Unreal candy.
So in other words, start studying for your degree in chemistry now, people.
My original point, though, was, Yasum, that you're going to have to get used to Ryan. He just comes out with those random things.
Well, I think she's used to me by
No,
now.
but
It's
with
not
the
like it
topic
isn't.
we were on and the randomness of the direction he took it to, it was just so hilarious to me. It really just tickled me. Everything. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Yasum knows me pretty well by now. She knows I can be pretty random.
He can be Randy.
I didn't say Randy.
Not me. I'm never random. I didn't just bring you all to my chicken coop randomly.
There you go.
I think most of these episodes have been inspired off of ADD or ADHD.
That's why I fit in so well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm sure everyone on my panels to some degree is on spectrum somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I know
okay
I
with
am.
that. I'll tell you what, you rejects are my favorite humans.
You're my favorite turd too, cuzzo.
I appreciate it.
Right. You're like the turd in the turd bowl that won't flush.
Will you really want to get rid of me, Dustin?
That's actually like kind of a family joke, because his dad used to always say if he was like pulling your leg, he said, "I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd."
Cuz, language, please.
That's how he said it. You got to be true to.
Not on a Christian channel, you can't. No, ma'am.
It's not the. Okay. Sorry.
I would have
Notice
perfectly
how
understood it if you said I wouldn't crap you. You're my favorite crapper.
There you go. But that's not. I couldn't quote that. I was trying to be like accurate in quoting. See, they're teaching me at college not to plagiarize things. So when you give a quote, it needs to be accurate. So I was just trying to do it for sake of accuracy. My
I'm
apologies.
actually fine with plagiarism, so yeah. Do you plagiarize?
I plagiarize the Bible all the time.
Right. I do. I don't sell it, but I
No.
plagiarize it.
I'm not looking to get a degree either.
Right. Yeah.
I
Great
just
times.
refuse to plagiarize Wiki.
WikiLeaks?
Yeah.
You're not a fan of WikiLeaks?
Dude. From my college days.
Oh, you're talking about Wikipedia.
Right. Yeah, Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. I don't know. People either love Wikipedia or they hate it, but I don't think anyone's in the middle, like just eh.
Basically, everybody was told if you leave a wiki link on your any paper, I don't care how good it is, you're getting a fail.
Yes, that is true. You are not allowed to use it. It is an unreliable.
I'm confused.
You can't use a Wikipedia for a grade level paper. It would be dismissed immediately because Wikipedia is unreliable and you can only use sources that are reliable.
I see what's going. Okay.
That's why I laugh when atheists bring up a wiki link. And it's like, really?
I
And you
can
wanna
put my
tell me you're
5-year-old.
educated?
I could put my 7-year-old on Wikipedia and give you an answer about something, and they'll allow it if it sounds accurate.
I mean, Facebook fact checkers are even more accurate than Wiki.
Yes.
Well, guys, I have to cut out. I gotta. My wife will be calling me pretty soon, and I gotta get dinner started and everything.
Well, thanks for coming, spending some time with us on Saturday, and I will be watching that video. It was nice to meet you, sir.
You too. It's been real. It's been fun. I don't know about really fun. I am glad to finally get on your channel, Steve. Even though you're not there, I'll wait.
He's absent.
Yeah, I just seen in chat. He BRB. Ryan, I'm glad I finally met you on chat. I keep missing you when you're on at night with either Kent or Steven or Chuck.
What about us?
I was telling Ryan I'm glad I finally met him because I keep missing him when he's on your guys' channels.
Just so you guys know, I'm going to continue the marathon live stream. It'll restart at 3:00, and the title of it is Protestants versus the Poor and Lowly Priest.
Okay.
Which means no, maybe I'll change it. Protestants ask Protestants ask questions of priest. Wait, better yet, Protestants ask theological questions about priest. So that will begin at 3:00. So if you ever wanted to know, and I hate to sound like this, but I am an expert on Catholicism too. So I
is
am
your
an
base?
Orthodox priest. I need to always say that strongly because all of a sudden, I don't know, somehow when I get online, I morph into this Roman Catholic priest. And it's not nothing I do. It's nothing I do. It's my viewers. They morph me into a Roman Catholic priest. So anyway,
Astral
if you
projection.
seriously, if you have any questions, that'll begin at 3. If you have any questions that you felt uncomfortable asking a priest or just didn't know, and we'll let the Lord take it from there. So I hope some of you can make it. I know you've been on here for a while, and hopefully I'll see some of you at 3 o'clock. Until then, go ahead.
After getting to know you, Chuck, I think you're more of a Bible believer than a priest believer.
Well, that's interesting. No, and I don't mean that facetiously. That's interesting. You would say that.
Well,
so,
I mean, you don't sound like the Pope. I mean, most Catholic priests are parodying the Pope half the time, you know.
I don't know. Well, first of all, the Pope's not my boss. We don't. We had a divorce in 1054.
Okay.
Year 1054. Yeah. So we don't follow. And as far as I'll give you a little tidbit here. As far as this Pope goes, you want to talk about Antichrist? Anyway,
I know, right?
So I'd be on all the Protestant side on
yeah,
this
that's
one.
where you win us over.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
anyway, I'm gonna chug out here. Chug out. Anyway, I'll be back at 3. If you are interested in joining, well, I'll have I'll put the link in the chat for those of you that I do have a messenger. I'll send the link to you. As you can see up there at Father Charles right now, I'm portraying Pontius Pilate. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
Chuck, I'll see if I can't get in there.
Yeah, it's me and Steven said we'd probably have a marathon. He said he couldn't do the whole thing, and I understand why. He has a girlfriend that tells him what to do. But anyway, so
shots fired.
Anyway, I hope to see the most of you at 3 o'clock. Until then, God
All
bless.
right. God bless, Chuck.
Okay.
Bye, Pastor Charles.
Bye-bye.
All right. And Steven, I got to break out.
But do we have to break up?
No, I have to break out.
Okay. All right. Well, still come back, and I'm glad you finally came on the show.
Yeah. More than likely, you'll catch me on an afternoon than at night.
Sounds like a plan, brother. Glad
All
to
right.
see you.
Dustin, Yasum, glad to meet you.
You as well.
Man, you left a good impression, I must say.
All right, thank you. I hope to see you guys in the future.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
All right. So anyone out there in the audience who wants to come in and say something or comment or throw a rock at us, you are free to do so. The link is pinned in the description in the comments. Everyone is welcome. Come tell us where we're right or come tell us where we're wrong.
Please tell me I'm wrong.
It didn't take Darkness long to come on to tell us that we're wrong.
What are you wrong about?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what you're supposed to tell us.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, I'm curious, Stephen, why
That's
I wouldn't
between
have
you and your
guessed
wife.
that. Why DeSantis over Trump?
Oh, okay. For one thing, I think Trump has so much baggage there's no way he could even win a fair election. Because they're going to be bringing up impeachment. They're going to be bringing up indictments. It's too much of an uphill battle to win the amount of independence you need to win to take it.
The amount of independence.
Right. The independence is what wins or loses an election.
I'm so glad you're here, Darkness.
Meaning,
We know how many Republicans are going to vote Republican. And we know roughly how many Democrats are going to vote Democrat. But what's always up for grabs is how many independents are going to vote Democrat and how many independents are going to vote Republican. The independent has always been the swing vote that both parties have to battle for because they're in a very crafty dance. They have to win over their base in their own party so that they win over their whole party's vote, but then they have to be moderate enough near the end of the general election so that they can win over enough independents to vote for them too.
yeah, sure. I don't know. I mean, not that I want to get into any of that. When you say fair election, I'm not sure they're like across the board.
Ever was.
If there is such a thing as a fair election, but I think there wasn't enough of an unfair election that like it would matter. I mean, Trump's just disliked by more people than he's not at this point, right? Like he's just a bad choice. So I think you're right on that note, probably for a little bit different reasons than you do. But what's curious to me is DeSantis, I mean, so Trump's a loser, and when I say that, I mean a political loser, right? Like he's loser, just done. Like DeSantis is. Did you watch the debate the other night?
I did. Yep.
Yeah, I think DeSantis is a loser too. And look, I was for sure 6 months ago, a conservative friend of mine that lives in Florida was like all for DeSantis, and I even have always said like DeSantis is dangerous because he has an agenda that Trump doesn't. And that agenda is everything that Trump likes to come on and get people to vote, right? Like the anti-trans, the anti-gay, the banned books, all this shit. That's just terrible for a multitude
that's
of
unfair representation of the policies that Governor DeSantis holds to. He's not anti-trans. He's anti-trans communities being involved that closely with our children, and he's against that type of stuff being put in school books for young children, which I agree with wholeheartedly.
So listen to what I'm saying, Stephen. Right? So the point is not to get into DeSantis politics, but DeSantis has an agenda where Trump, I don't think cares, right? Like if Trump comes on and says something anti-trans, he just wants the votes, right? Like Trump cares about himself. That's his agenda, further himself. Just that narcissistic. But I think DeSantis truly has an agenda, and 6 months ago, I thought he may be the guy to actually like forward that agenda that I think is pretty terrible, right? For a multitude of different reasons.
I don't think that's a fair analysis of Trump either, though, because I really do believe he loves this country, and I believe he loves freedom, and I think he's also egotistical in a way that he likes to be praised and admired, and he knows by giving Republicans back some freedoms that they will admire and adore him and love him like they do. So it's strategic, but also I do think he legitimately cares about the country. I just think he doesn't care as much about how he gets it done, whether or not it's a little shadier or so.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I'll disagree with that. Trump doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. But it's curious because a lot of people, like I don't think there are many people in your position that take DeSantis over Trump in the general for a couple of reasons. One, DeSantis, I don't think will be able to win the primary or beat Trump in the primary. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody will. Right? So I think you literally, like, that's how the Republicans lose this whole election.
I agree with you.
It's going to be Trump in the primary. I mean, I
agree with you that Trump's going to win the primary. And I think that he will, I almost know he will lose the general election.
Yeah, I think it would be really tough for him to even remotely come close to winning the general election.
See, DeSantis is fresher. He has almost zero baggage, and he can be president for the next 8 years. Best case scenario, Trump wins, okay? He's president for 4 more years, can't run again, so in 4 years, we're back to this Civil War type division that we're feeling right now. And it's going to be a disaster. And the whole 4 years Trump's in office, they're going to be impeaching him again. They're going to be doing more indictments. Baggage and luggage is going to overshadow his whole 4-year presidency. Nothing will get done. They'll make sure of it. If they can't impeach him, they'll just tie his hands. So it's not going to benefit the American people at all for Trump to be reelected. That he needs to support Ron DeSantis and let Ron beat Biden.
You're missing I don't think that'll ever happen.
I know
DeSantis isn't charismatic enough to beat anybody. Like literally,
you're wrong.
Look, it's not a question of if I'm. You can literally Google and find out how he's doing in the polls versus everybody else right now, Stephen. We can see literally how the people think of DeSantis after the debate, and I don't think it's as well as some of the other candidates, right?
That's
like
because
Nikki Haley mopped the
that's
floor
because
with
Trump
him.
has the monopoly of the votes. But look, if Trump was arrested tomorrow or he decided he didn't want to run for some reason, there would be a vote realignment, and any one of the other Republicans on that stage that night could beat Joe Biden in the general election. Trump is literally the only candidate because of all the stuff tied to him who cannot beat Biden.
That's a pretty bold statement. We'll see.
Biden's a pretty terrible president.
Well, I'm not saying he's great by any means, but I think it's, unfortunately.
He's Jimmy Carter 2.0.
Well,
president.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, P-Town.
You can be president is 12 years because you can win, then get voted out, and then you can run again. Or can you only be president for 4 more years?
You can only do 2 4-year terms, whether it's consecutive or not, because we've had this happen
What
before.
it is, the longest you can be president
Garfield,
is if
I think.
be president is 12 years.
No, 8 years tops. Only 2 terms. Whether they're
not if somebody picks him. Not if somebody picks him as a vice president and then gets taken out.
Vice president, someone gets taken out, then you can be president for 4 years.
So that's another good thing. Like, who do you guys think Trump would pick as a vice?
That's actually absolutely constitutional. I'm sorry to tell you that, Proverbs. I'm going to break your legalistic bubble over there. That's constitutional.
What is?
You can technically be president for 12 years.
No, if you are picked as vice president, even after you've served 8 years and you're picked as vice president and something happens to the president, you are
I challenge you to
president temporum. President temporum. It's in the Constitution. President temporum.
No idea what you're
It's in the Constitution. Okay. I really don't know.
Okay.
Is that better?
This got awkward.
I'm just telling you, it can actually happen, and it is absolutely constitutional.
It's not constitutional for a president to go ahead and do full 2 terms and then be a vice president. You can't do it. No person can hold a 3rd term of office. Not for the president.
He's not holding the 3rd term. He's president temporum.
There's term limits for a president. It's the only office we have legitimate term limits on.
Okay, Proverbs, I'm telling you, he's not the president. He's the acting president. When that happens,
I don't understand what's happening here. Darkness, Yawsome, do you guys have points too?
I was trying to upload my avatar, but I can't get it to work. I really don't care about all the all that stuff because more than likely that's never going to happen, right? Like nobody's going to pick Trump as a like everybody on that stage. The only reason they even remotely don't say anything negative towards Trump is because they know, like, right, the mob literally is against them when they do. I mean, Christie almost got booed off the stage for just literally supporting Pence in the Constitution, right? Like, look, they simply said, look, I choose the Constitution over Trump. And people went
You
crazy.
have no idea.
So they go absolutely nuts over just someone like pushing back a little bit. I think, ultimately, I don't know what's going to happen
Why would they need to pass
with
a
any of it.
law? Why would they need to pass a law that it's illegal after the fact?
That what's illegal?
Why would they need to do that? So what Trump was suggesting was that Pence, as the president of the I believe it was the House, or no, it was the Senate, as the president of the Senate, has the ability to send the votes back for examination. This has happened once before. It actually has had. Do I want to say Woodrow Wilson or
It
And why
happened with
didn't he
Jackson?
do
Thomas
that?
Jefferson. It
Why
happened
didn't he
with
do that,
Thomas
Dustin?
Jefferson was presented the opportunity with
None of this
delegates from
matters.
Georgia, and he still
Well,
accepted
it does actually. It does actually
No,
matter, but
why? What
it
matters is
does
why
because
didn't he do it?
well, I can only think of a couple of reasons, but I'm not going to try to explain the inner workings of Pence's mind. How would I
Then what are
know?
we? Then what are we talking about? We all know it's on the table. I'm asking you why he didn't do it. Trump says, "Hey, I want you to do this for me," and Pence says no because I followed the Constitution. I believe that there was no. I forget how he phrased it, but he didn't think there was enough there to warrant him changing it, so he didn't do it.
That's his constitutional right. It's not his
That
constitutional duty. There's a difference. And the other end of the equation is
I never said it
Pence
was his
doesn't have
constitutional duty. We're asking why Pence.
no.
The simple point is this: Pence didn't believe, like, okay, very simply, Pence knew Trump was wrong, so he didn't go along with
How
anything, right? And you're
how
saying
do
no,
you have
you believe Trump was right
no. No, I'm not saying one way or the other. What I'm asking you is how would you know what was in Pence's mind?
because he
You
said
see,
it the
that's
other
a
night
psych.
on this. Because he said it the other night on the stage. He
So
So
literally.
there
okay,
there was a
so
debate with the three of them.
What's
let's
that?
say for
I
example,
missed the debate with all three of them.
let's
No,
say
no, no.
for an
There was.
example,
Hold on, Dustin. Did you not see
I
the
haven't
debate?
I haven't seen it. I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, it was
Republican debate already happened.
yeah. Uh-huh.
The first
Yeah.
one. What?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
by
and P
now that I
Town
got my
and
mic
it
working,
was
Proverbs guy, the
good.
longest you can be president is 12 years. If you're vice president, your dude gets shot, you become president, and then you can get voted in for 2 consecutive terms. Technically, it can be 12.
Who
Unless
told you?
I'm unless
anyway,
anyway, but
No.
yeah, he can run on the other president's name. But that's besides the point. Listen to what I'm saying for a second. Let's say we live in a world where people are held to account for what they say. Let's say Pence doesn't have somebody writing a script for him. Well, how would you know, even if that's what Pence was saying in the moment, that that's what he was thinking at the time when he said, "We're not sending these back"? All I'm saying is you're making a grand deduction like you're Sherlock Holmes into the mind of somebody else, and there's really nothing to back up that claim. Like honestly, just that claim
no, no,
alone
no. Are you
invalidates
kidding?
a huge
Are you an idiot?
no.
There's two
I'm not an
things.
idiot.
Well, it seems like that way because look, there's two things that are just matter of fact. One, Pence didn't do it. Two, he came on stage and told us why he didn't do it. I don't need to be a mind reader. I'm just taking him for his word. If you think there's something else going on, why don't you let us know what Pence was actually doing?
I don't know what Pence was actually doing. I think there was a
most of them
lot of other things going on. Hold on. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. I think there was a lot of other things going on. I think everybody was looking out for their own interest in that moment. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what I think. The bigger picture is not one person on this panel has any idea what anybody else was thinking in the moment. So you make these great grand assumptions about, oh, Pence was
What
thinking Trump
assumption?
was
Hold on.
wrong.
What assumption did I make?
I was just about to say it. You make an assumption, even if it's based on something he says. I mean, are you
But
telling me that you
it's
can?
no longer an assumption, man. Like literally, like if we look at like two simple facts of the matter, Pence didn't do
I
it.
love how the beginning of your sentence starts in the middle of mine. You know what?
Right.
I'm done.
That's because that's good.
Okay, so it was 10 years. Proverbs guy, gotcha. I knew it was something like that, though.
I
mean,
don't
you can
even
only be
think that
president
applies.
for 2 terms of 4, P-Town, unless the extenuating circumstances that you're talking about, which I have no idea of.
Right,
But
right.
like,
Yeah, I was just, yeah, I agree with you guys. Unless you're vice president or, and you
you,
get, and your boy, your or your
yeah,
lady,
but that's just
whoever.
that like it.
Yeah. I think it's happened though. It's actually happened where it's been more than
But
8
with
years,
Trump,
hasn't it?
you think Trump's going to be somebody's vice president? I mean, you think that dude's ever going to sit backseat to anybody? They're worried about
No,
them
yeah.
televising this thing, not because of it being televised, but because if it's not televised, Trump sits in the room, like a scolded child. If they televise it, Trump peacocks for the camera, and he's just gonna be Trump. And like Stephen was saying earlier, he's just gonna railroad himself further into the ground, right? Like, I mean, so that's
He'll
Trump's
probably
never
have
gonna.
enough. I don't know. I mean,
But let me
he'll have
just
enough
clarify,
attorneys advising him.
Dustin's thing, because it's very simple, right? Like, I'm not claiming to know the mind of Pence. I'm just observing what happened on January 6th, what happened in that particular instance with Pence, and then when Pence came out on stage and said what he did, he said he supports the Constitution over the overturning of an election that Trump wanted him to do. Right? Now, if Dustin thinks there's something more nefarious going on, please let us know. But if you're just going to take the stance of we can't know the mind of another person, I absolutely agree. Right?
Didn't
But
Pence come out and say that he didn't think Trump was trying to overturn an election? Publicly say that
uh,
as well?
just go back and watch the debate, okay? Or I don't know, somebody clip it because Pence is on there, and literally, he and Christie both say they support the Constitution over Trump, and Christie almost got booed off the stage. Stephen, have you seen that?
Oh,
You
I
said you watched the
absolutely watched
debate,
the
no?
entire debate. I'm finding it
Yeah.
for you so I can put it in the link in the private chat,
Okay.
P-Town. It was a great debate.
I don't see how anyone stands a chance against Trump. I'll just say it.
Well, and they don't. That's the thing. Trump will win the primary. There's no
Unless he goes
contesting
to
that.
jail.
Well, that's the
And
thing.
then I
And
think, who would, let me ask you guys, who would make the best president out of all of them?
I think Ron DeSantis.
I would consider Pence. He doesn't have a chance to win, but
I don't
if
think
there
Pence
was
would
any
be a bad
backbone, if
president.
there was any backbone to Trump's presidency, from a moral standpoint, Pence was probably it.
I don't
How many times
think
did
so.
Pence have to reel in Trump and counsel him a little bit here
Here's
and there?
the issue, though.
We'll never know.
We need a leader that can somewhat relate to our generation. And Pence is still just another old guy. And old guys have got us into a whole lot of debt, and they've got us into a whole lot of wars that none of us wanted to support. And I'm tired of old guys running the country. I would love someone with a little bit of youth in them to be behind the wheel for once.
Well, Trump's the most youthful one on the panel,
No, he's not.
even though he's 80, almost 80.
No, P-Town, you need to watch the debate because we're not talking about Trump now. We're talking about the people that were on stage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can mix
I
in
love
Trump in.
DeSantis. I love DeSantis, by the way. So
So I think, in best for the country, Christie. Best to win, if it's not Trump, probably, and this gets tough, but probably it's going to be something, I think, between Pence, Nikki Haley, and I don't know if I remember the other guy's name, but the young kid, they're not going to vote for somebody that's won 30 some years old or brown. And I think everybody understands that what he's done, right? Like he's taken every GOP talking point and just like spitting them out, right?
I don't think the brown part would prohibit him because I'm like a fifth generation conservative Republican, and I loved Ben Carson. I voted for him over Trump.
Stephen,
But
I think there are a lot.
he is just spitting out Republican talking points, and everybody knows that.
But Stephen, when you have two white people on stage next to him, they're not going to vote for the brown guy. The brown guy doesn't win. We're not there yet. And that's why I also
I
think
disagree with you.
Nikki Haley won't win either.
I literally voted for the black guy over Trump.
And I still think you're the minority.
Well, okay,
I don't
that
think
might be
color
accurate.
affects it as much
But
as
that's what
people
I'm
think.
talking about, Stephen. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the majority of the GOP is still not going to vote a brown guy into office, right? The same
The
way they're not
majority
going
of
to
the
vote.
GOP is not racist.
They're
Right.
not going to vote a woman into office either. But guess who they're going to vote into
Maybe
office?
not a
And guess
woman.
Maybe
who
not a
knows
woman.
it?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Guess who knows
We'll
it?
give you that, but
Guess who knows it? Pence. When Pence goes, what did he say? Like all the Jesus that came out of his mouth, right? Like it literally is.
was it
Even
that
the
meant?
audience. Oh yeah, even the audience groaned at one point. But
Yeah.
they'll pick that over Haley any day of the week. The brown guy has problems because they're going to dig up his past and find out that he's never been a politician, and that there's a little bit of trolling, right, going on. And that he's taken like the model and said, okay, what model, how do I win?